All right. Okay. Welcome everyone to Pardon the Smash episode 2, featuring the wonderful Columbus-grown Fsink. I am Camtendo.
I'm Echo.
I'm Noah.
Fsink.
All right, we've got a hype episode for you guys tonight. I hope you're excited. We're excited. It's gonna get hype. It's gonna get heated too. All right, so topic list. It looks like we're starting off with State of the Smash, Columbus. The Columbus scene, up and coming.
The Columbus scene.
Yeah. What do you think, Fsink? Fsink. Sorry, I got to saying that, man. My bad. It's because Cam started it, dude.
Nah, it's all good.
Well,
80% of the people that know me call me that, so.
Yeah, dude. Like, okay, Fsink. All right, so tell us about Columbus, man. How's it growing?
Dude, it's the best weekly so far.
He said best weekly.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Dominating UG.
Have you heard of Shaq?
Oh, well, UG. Yeah, I believe that.
All right, what else about Columbus, man?
I've heard about Chateau. You guys are like right behind us. I mean, we've had some crazy turnouts.
That production value, though.
Oh, dude, yeah. You guys like my streaming setup? It's pretty sweet.
I mean, we are the Velvet Room. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you guys are the pros. But, no, it's good. It's taken off really well, honestly. I didn't think this many people were actually going to be showing up. I didn't think there was this many people in this town that like this game. So it's great, though, so far. Echo's seen it. Echo, he really can't believe it either.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there on Saturday, dude, I couldn't believe that there was we had like 28, I think it was, for entrance.
We had
and that
28.
was for PM. And I would assume Melee probably gets you similar stuff.
No, actually.
No, less?
A lot of people around here like to play PM. You know, if we have a Melee tourney, it's going to be cut in half. You know, I think the most we've ever had for Melee was like 16, something like that. But,
well,
I mean,
Echo and I both being Columbus natives ourselves, that was definitely like bigger numbers than I would have seen, many years ago when I was living there. So 16 is pretty decent.
Yeah, and 28 for PM especially. And I mean, and that's even considering that you're doing that $2 entry fee now instead of completely free.
Yep.
Dang.
$2 entry fee, and half of it goes to the top 3, and then the other half, well, for example, we just bought like 5 or 6 pizzas for everyone. So, I mean, just stuff like that. That's what we've been doing. And it's not just Columbus people. It's also, we got Cam, the Squirtle player, and Skylar. And we got some Duncan people, I'm just spamming it everywhere, and people are just showing up.
That's how you get scenes to grow, man. Who would you say are the best Columbus players?
It'd be me, HB, and Moss.
In that order?
And then, well, Melee.
All right.
If you go PM, it'd go Moss, or let's count Cam here. Cam, Moss, me, and then HB. And then under that it'd be Mark, and then Jacob.
All right. Do you think Columbus is going to get bigger than Omaha or Lincoln in terms of the Smash community?
I mean, I'm hoping. I really do hope, but it might be at its peak. I don't want to say that, but I mean, it kind of ranges. Our average, it's like 20 to, 22 on a good time, and yesterday I think they only had 10 per tournament, so
still decent,
Yeah. Do any of the Columbus people have any interest in Smash 4? Are you seeing any new people coming in? And I'm not asking that because I know how you feel about Smash 4 as a person, but I'm just saying, do you see any new people coming in since that release, or are you still getting the same people that you had for Melee and PM?
No, honestly, I don't think there might be a couple, maybe 5 at the most that would even attempt to play Smash 4. We had Jacob bringing in a setup. People would play when they're waiting to go, to play their match in our tourney. But other than that, nah. I've pretty much put it in everyone's head here that the game is a joke and we'll never play it at my tourneys.
Is anyone
dang, son,
interested in traveling from Columbus other than maybe you and HB and I guess Cam or Moss?
Mark has come with Jacob. He came. Other than that, I let everyone know that we got a couple open seats, but I'm not sure if they're that, Motivated?
Oh.
They just like the little friendlies or weeklies we do. They don't want to go spend $10 on Smash 4 and then lose.
So many shots, man. It's an intellectual game, man. That's what I hear.
Yeah, but what about for like, for example, Grind Time 3? Are we going to see a lot of Columbus people come up from that, like 2 full cars?
I'm going to try my best to fill 2 cars.
That'd be awesome.
I'll even pay for gas for both cars. I just want more of the Columbus people to see what, the real tourneys, like Omaha, ours are real tourneys, but I'm saying, bigger.
Yo, it's a good thing that you're going to Grime Time then, and not like Wesley's Weeklies or Roll Tier or something like that.
Why would that
I'm
be?
going to RT5. I'm sorry, no. I'm going to RT5.
It's big. You got to go to that, but
M2K is going to go and just take everyone's money again, but it doesn't matter.
Dude, hopefully we see like PPMD or something, man.
that'd be
H-Box, dude. We need to get H-Box.
Or H-Fox. Leffen, all the way from Sweden? Probably not.
Other than that, though, yeah, the Columbus scene, man, it's great. Me and HB's idea, we were just playing friendlies in his apartment and just decided to invite random people over.
Oh.
And here it turned into this.
Nice, man. Well, if you guys like watching Columbus Smash or you want to start watching Columbus Smash, be sure to follow Fsink on his Twitch account.
Fsink.
Twitch.tv, sorry, Fsink, F-S-I-N-K. Fsink, Fsink, F followed by Sync. Follow him. It's going to be in the chat. Make sure you hook that up. Show our Columbus bros some love. With that, we are going to segue into the next topic. Sandbagging. All right. So, I have a passionate... Okay, so Noah and I, right, we play in Chateau a lot. Like 2 times maybe, not a lot. The dude sandbags everyone at the tournament, and nobody can grow because of it. I get so salty. I'm like, bro, don't sandbag me this time. He plays like Peach or like a garbage fox or like SDs like 6 times, and it's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to get better. Gus.
Now,
No?
the thing is, my sandbagging is just so much better than you that you can totally
Oh
learn
my
stuff from
God.
it.
Oh, there it is.
This kid.
And,
Bro.
I don't think it's... I think to a certain level it's disrespectful to sandbag people, but
It is.
it's really exhausting to play 100% all the time.
Exhausted. Play a different game, man.
Dude.
Come on now.
No, dude, I like this game. This is
Smash
the only
4.
game that I like. But when it's too much for like a friendly weekly like that. There's no entry fee. There's no pressure. I mean, I kind of want to have a bit of fun. If I'm just playing super lame the whole time, that's gonna make people hate the game. I want people to enjoy their time at Chateau, not just be like.
Bro. We've already established that Melee is for like masochists, right? Like people love getting bodied in Melee. That's how they get better, right? So the only way kids are gonna appreciate the game more is if you body them every stock until they figure out how to not get bodied. You just like giving them Charmin soft, like, oh, I guess I'll miss this shine in SD. How's that gonna make people better?
Honestly,
Why don't we ask?
Honestly, though, it's like Noah or Kaiser, for example. Me and Noah have had this conversation 100 times already. I still get better. He's better than me. Noah's better than me, but I still get better even when he does sandbag. So, I mean, either way, his skill's still up there when he sandbags. So, I don't really care, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good point. One more thing that I want to add is that it's not always sandbagging to try new things that aren't tried and true. That's just how you discover stuff. And if you're playing against a person that's not as good as you, so be it. I mean, it puts you a little bit down farther when you're trying new things.
Echo. Speaking of sandbagging, back at Columbus, did you or did you not sandbag that entire tournament? Did you or did you not almost lose
That dude was.
like a little girl, man? Come on now. No response, or he's at least laughing. He knows.
I
He
mean,
saw you, man.
okay, you're talking about sandbagging in terms of just like, playing a little like less serious. I mean, if you're talking about sandbagging in terms of like just purposely getting hit by moves or just not comboing people, like you just try to falcon punch the whole match or something, that's a whole different level of sandbagging, right? So
That's straight up trolling, yeah.
the one match that you're talking about is, this Pikachu player, and it's like, yeah, I did sandbag that game, but that's because Oh, okay, I don't know if I have a real good reason.
No, you told me. You're like, come on, man. I didn't want to force stock a girl.
Well, I don't. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to just like demoralize somebody. If I feel like somebody's coming in that is actually like trying, but like, if I were to just play you 100%, like you're at that level where you're just gonna get four stocked like easy, and you probably aren't the kind of person that has an interest to go out to other tournaments. Like that girl is not going to go to Grind Time 3.
No.
I see that. I mean, that girl is not going to go to.
She almost got 4 stock, but she can't.
That girl is not going to go anywhere. Like she doesn't have that interest. If it was somebody that has a lot of interest and wants to get bodied all day long because they are trying to learn something from it and they want to go to some other tournaments, then it's different, you know. But
So
if you're just
okay.
like if you're just up against a casual, like, you know, that I don't see the reason for you to have to like four stock that person or try to JV5 somebody. Like, what is it gonna do for you? It's just for your ego or what? You know, like I just don't get it. So, yeah, that game I did. But if you're saying like, did I sandbag against everybody? Then no, I would not say that. Like, I mean, my game against Cam, for example, Cam played very well, and he outplayed my Ness in those games. So
why
I
didn't you
would-
play
losers.
Falcon? You didn't switch to
That's
Falcon.
But my Ness, I mean, I think anybody that's lost to my Ness would tell you that my Ness is good. You know, like I've beaten JVM with Ness. You know, so I mean, I don't consider it sandbagging just because of that pick.
Those were the old days, bro. Back in 2006. Oh, I beat JBM when he was still in diapers, dude. Oh, my Ness is so good.
No, I just beat JVM with Ness at West Weekly at PM. So I mean.
Yo, I don't want to hear this. Don't ruin my joke, man.
All right. I'll forget that happened. Okay.
Noah, how often have you sandbagged at Chateau though? Like real rap.
I sandbag
I
everyone.
feel like why even show up? Why? Like if you're just gonna sandbag and troll, you know?
Because I don't want to take credit for this, but I'm going to. There are at least 2 people that I can think of who have come to Chateau, gotten absolutely wrecked by me, and then have made it their goal to defeat me. So if I like showed them right away how good I was, I don't think that they would have that drive. They'd just be like, oh, this dude is way too good. But by sandbagging and kind of giving him a little bit, this is like the strategy Bolin used against me, because he would always make me think that I had improved to beat him, and then he would just unleash a little bit more of his power level, and he'd always be just a little bit better than me. So it drove me to get better. And if I just like show it all right away, I mean, what's the point? It's just like too big of a mountain to climb for some people.
All right, I guess that's fair. For those of you that don't know, Bolin is a very OG smasher, huge troll, like invented the word sandbag. That dude would like come out of the woodworks, play you, be like, oh man, you got really good, man. He just like you destroy him. You'd be like, what are you doing? You're Bolin. You never lose. And you'd be like, okay, Bolin, play me for real. And he would just slaughter you. He'd be like, all right, man, that was a good game. And then he'd just move on and play someone else. And it's just like demoralizing. All right. Any other thoughts? Okay, we're moving on. The Midwest. So as you guys know, the Midwest circuit is a thing. We've got like 6 states involved. I think it's like Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa, Colorado. I don't know. Rob would know because he's spamming it everywhere. But the Midwest is starting to rise. Like it used to be just like California by itself and an East Coast. But we're starting to make our surge in the Smash scene. How do you guys think about that? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I would argue that there's always been really good players in the Midwest. I mean, Darkrain's been a really good example, and then you've had Tink and Dreffen and all these old school dudes. You've got guys now that are really good in Brawl, Project M, even Smash 4. So I think the Midwest has always been really good. The challenge is always just that how are these people getting exposure, you know? Like a lot of people never really traveled a whole lot because it's so far. And people from all these other coasts, or all these other coasts, there's only 2 coasts, right? But anyway, all these people from around the country wouldn't necessarily come to the Midwest. So I think what you're seeing now is probably just the fact that we have so many majors now, and you know you have Big House, which is in the Midwest. I mean, I consider it Midwest. I guess it's pretty far north, but I mean, you've got all these major tournaments now that a lot of people are periodically traveling to where all these Midwest people are actually getting that exposure, rather than just having, you know, show me your moves, and that was almost it, other than the FC series. So I think that's probably why you're seeing more Midwest players come up, because you're seeing them actually get a lot more outside experience and getting a lot more practice and exposure.
All right, so we had Jake run some stats for this topic. So he looked at the Melee It On Me rankings for 2014, and they're so in the top 100 to 76, those ranks, there were only two Midwesterners, one from Wisconsin and one from Illinois. From rank 75 to 51, another two, one from Illinois, one from Missouri. From 50 to 26, we had another two, Illinois and Kansas were their home states, and then none in the top 25. So in 2014, the Midwest sucked at Smash. Why do you guys think that is? I mean, Dark Rain, I think Dark Rain was 44, and JBM beat Dark Rain. So shouldn't JBM be ranked higher than 44? But he's not on the list. So how can we as a Midwest, like, resolve that issue? How can we get people ranked? How can we become more known?
You gotta go to the tournaments.
Yeah, like Echo said, it's all about kind of the exposure and actually
travel,
getting there.
So why do you think the Midwest is so lazy? I mean, like, maybe it's not that simple. Maybe I'm just like, lowering it. But do you think nobody in the Midwest has drive to go anywhere else? Like, everyone just stays in town and like, oh, I'm just gonna go to Roll Tier because it's in Nebraska. Oh, you want to go to Iowa? Nah, man, that's too far. Nah, man.
Yeah.
Nah. I mean,
to me, it's
drugs.
location.
That's all I can think of.
Oh my god. I mean, if you're talking about like from where we are, so I'm in Omaha right now. I mean, if I want to go to Des Moines, if I want to go to Kansas City, these places are close to where it's like if those are Midwest tournaments, I'll go. But yeah, I mean, when you're talking about going to Chicago, when you're talking about going to Indiana, you're talking about going to Ohio. I mean, these are 10 to 12-hour drives, And I don't know. I mean, that's just rough, man. It'd be hard to make those trips all the time.
that's fair. Do you think there's bias against the Midwest? Oh, go ahead, no.
Oh, I was just going to say that, and to that end, assuming that this Midwest circuit is, I actually didn't look at where all of the places are, so maybe this is incorrect, but I think having some bigger tournaments in a circuit, as well as having them be maybe slightly closer than other normal Midwest locations, like I know Show Me Your Moves is in like Champaign, Illinois, which is like 8 hours away, which is just too much. But I don't know. I mean, 3 to 5 hour drives maybe wouldn't be as bad to go to. So I'm hoping that this circuit, if it's run well and successful, will kind of maybe solve that a little bit.
All right, but yeah, as I was saying, do you think that we're like naturally biased against in the Midwest? So like Smash, got super heavy rooted on the East and West Coast, and they have tournaments all day long on those coasts, but they're like really close to each other, like an hour and a half drive, and we're stuck in the middle, like far away from either side, and all the big tournaments are on the coast. Do you feel like, can we remedy that? I mean, Roll Tier 5 or Roll Tier Series and stuff like that, like Kansas City tournaments are trying to get us more exposure, but any thoughts?
I have nothing, honestly. The way M2K acted when he was here for RT4, he seemed like he just hated the Midwest, so.
Just a giant piggy bank for him to break.
Exactly. The dude walked away with like $2,000.
That's true.
I think that on the coasts, they probably have the attitude of, I mean, people travel from like the east to the west and vice versa all the time if they're good enough. So I think they figure that if people were good enough in the Midwest and they wanted to show their stuff, they would take the time and travel to these tournaments. So I think some of the bias is just possibly true, that maybe for the most part the Midwest with a few outliers can't really compete with the best of the best.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, Hopefully we can get some more tournaments, but so it goes.
G Midwest.
We could just move to the coast, like no more Midwest, right?
That would be good, like Jace.
Exactly. Anywho, all right, we're going to move on to seeding. So we partially talked about this last episode. People get salty when you don't seed your brackets thoroughly. I think it was Echo that mentioned Grind Time 2. The dude got seeded last at his own tournament.
Against me.
How do you get seeded last at your own tournament? The dude is top 10 in the state, and he gets seated last. Were the TOs not looking at the bracket? Were they just?
They're getting food, man.
I mean, is it difficult to see the bracket? Discuss.
Well, I'll let Scott start this one. I know he really wanted to talk about this.
Yeah,
honestly, I seeded my last bracket, and it didn't take that long, so I don't understand, why they only do like top 4, top 6. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I was really salty about it. I got really unlucky. Every single game at Grime Time 2, I had to go against Echo. Every single Smash game. He's the one that took me out of the tournament every game. It just didn't make any sense. I don't consider myself like a very, very last seed, but the TOs need to start doing their job.
And I think there's definitely enough knowledge of the scene, even with kind of the newer-ish players like Fsink and HB and many other people that I am forgetting, to do a accurate seeding up to at least probably like top 16 people that regularly go to these tournaments. I mean, not even including like top 10, like with Echo in it. He should not be last, and that should have just been obvious. But people just need to take the time and do it, like Fsink says.
So at Chateau, we wrote just this quick little formula that accounts for how many chateaus you show up to, and then how well you place at each one, and then it's scaled based on how many people are in the tournament. So you can't just show up to a tournament with 3 people, body everyone, and then just get ranked top. So what do you guys think about everyone else making something like that?
I think the whole state should have a power ranking system, honestly. Someone should keep track of every single tournament, every single person that places. I'm not going to do it. I'm lazy. Sorry. But someone, I think... no, I think someone should do that. Just volunteer,
So Rob had a group of him and 3 people, and they did power rankings, and I think it got posted in the group, but it hasn't been updated in 2 years. So maybe we could find a committee that will fish through all these brackets and just establish a power rankings down to 100 people in Nebraska, and then we don't have to worry about seeding. You just look at it, and then you see people, and then just update it every couple months.
Update it every tournament.
Every tournament, even, yeah. Use ELO.
Well, I mean, that hard one's done. Just click a button.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man.
I mean, just for me, the reason why I was so salty is because I drive almost 2 hours to these things, and even the last one, my first match in PM was blank, and then my second match was Schism. So
that would be disappointing, yes.
And then, like I said previously, at Grime Time, I versed Echo, Magic. I didn't verse any lower skilled players at all. It was all people above me. So.
Well, the idea should be that you're playing against people of similar skill. Hopefully, depending where you're at. Obviously, if you're a top seed, that's not going to be the case. But you should at least be playing against somebody that's similar skill to you. In the cases that you're in Grime Time 2, I think I played you in all 3 tournaments, and so it's something's not right,
Every.
But I mean, also we should probably talk about. I mean, what you guys have been discussing for the most part here is, talking about weeklies or what are local tournaments, But when you're taking it to something like Roll Tier, you're talking about a totally different ball game.
Right.
You're not just using Nebraska players. But some of them are really obvious. Like you're gonna have Dark Rain and you're gonna have Arfriz and all these guys that have been to Nebraska before, and where they're probably lining up. Yeah. So I mean, you can generally see where they probably should be, but then you start to get into a lot of a mess when people are trying to say, well, okay, you seeded it this way based on skill, but now we have these people that came in the same car together. They shouldn't be in the same pool. Let's move them to blah, blah, blah. And then people are just messing with brackets all over the place, So really, and that's something hopefully that the World Tier Committee is addressing, but seeding last time, kind of got a little messy. And I think it was PM that took a whole nother hour just to get the bracket pool set up because people didn't like how there were certain people together. So seeding, you also need to address the location seeding, not just skill seeding.
I would expect that since they're doing this whole pre-registration thing, that they would have that done the day of. And I know that maybe this is for a different time, but in terms of like signing up day of or whatever, I think that they should stick to their cutoff date, not let people register day of and then seed it and have all of that done beforehand. I don't know if they'll do that though.
But yeah, like Echo was saying, it is definitely understandable. Like big tournaments are going to take longer to seed, and that's fine. But at locals, and if you're not seeding at local, like, come on, man. Like, you know everyone. That should take no time. I mean, that's just inexcusable.
I mean, we were randomizing in Columbus here. I know they're just weeklies, but I had to stop. You know, people that are just showing up are going against like me first game. Then they go to loser bracket and. You know, and guess what? They get to go against like HB if they blast through losers. So I mean, either way, I'm seeding from now on. So you know, you other tourneys, you don't have to, but I'm gonna talk trash on your tourneys then.
Well, there's just no reason not to. I mean, I'd like to know from somebody that doesn't like to seed why exactly you don't, because it really doesn't take that much time. So you can't just be like, random it, unless you just want to do it for random for fun, like everybody agrees to that.
Yeah, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
Moving on. So, Nebraska venues. So we have about, what, 5 or so? We have 70M Game, his place in Bellevue. We have Underground Gaming in Omaha. We have the Smash Mavs room, UNO, in Omaha as well. And we have Kaufman here at Lincoln. Those are like the big, like, main venues. So discuss it. Which ones do you like? Which ones don't you like? Why don't you like them? I'm going to try and defend all the venues, so we'll see how that goes.
Echo, go ahead, man.
Well, for the most part, they're all good venues. I mean, they all have their ups and downs. I mean, I think one of the things that people usually complain about is like hygiene issues. You know, some of these venues don't seem like they get cleaned very well. But I don't know. I mean, my favorite venue so far that we've used would have been probably UNO, the Milo Ball Center.
Yeah.
Or was that big one for Smash for Jack still in the Milo Ball? I don't know if that was.
Yeah, that was Milo Ball.
I thought it was. But yeah, that's my favorite place so far. And I think that if we do another big tournament, if we strike some kind of, you know, good deal, I think we should definitely look for that.
I don't have a favorite.
You don't have a favorite? You hate them all or love them all the same? Literally not one stands above the rest?
I go there to play Smash. It's just a place.
He said, I'm a Smash player. I don't care about the venue. All right. What about you, Noah?
I agree with Echo that a big thing for me is kind of the hygiene of some of these places. Specifically the bathroom, because some of them are straight up just like, I want to say never cleaned ever. It's not just that, oh, maybe the water doesn't work or something. It's just terrible, honestly. There's nothing good about them. I don't even want to like go into them because of how bad it is. And you know, when you have like however many people you know, that need to use this bathroom and get into it, it seems like that you could at least have that part of it clean, even if you know, it takes a little bit extra effort. The best place is definitely UNO. The ballroom, though, that Smash for Jack was in, just in terms of space and all of the, well, mainly just space, but I mean, also since it was on campus, it was clean and, you know, just everything about it was excellent.
Yep, had the good projectors and the stage for stream and everything. I mean, it was great.
RT4 only had one bathroom, right? Because the other ones were down. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Okay, bathrooms aside, though, isn't the venue good? Like, it was spacious. It could fit a lot of people.
70M is amazing for space.
Yeah, 70M.
Good internet.
Yeah, they've got good internet, and they've also got a lower level. I've only been down there once. I forget what event that was for, but I don't know how often he uses that lower level, but he's got a lot of space. Yeah, I mean, he can definitely do a lot of stuff. And, I mean, for the most part, it's a good venue. I mean, I mean that. I mean, the thing with UG, we've had some problems with the internet. I mean, you guys know that from Grime Time 1, Grime Time 2. So, I mean, I think recently that seems to have gotten better. I mean, what was the issue when we were there for UMSK? Was that like a power issue?
Yeah, like the power died out because we had too much stuff running, I'm guessing. But, like, you know, it happens. Like, power surge, whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, if he continues to improve that, like, I think if Tom is going to show that, you know, he generally feels like he wants to improve all of those things, then there shouldn't be a problem there.
So what about Kaufman? Do you guys hate it? The classrooms? You don't
No,
like it?
I love it. I think it's great.
I thought you hated everything equally, man.
Yeah, I don't hear
That's
any
fine.
hate on it.
UNL hasn't pissed me off yet.
All right, well that's a plus, I suppose.
Kaufman's
So-
fun. I love using
Other than
Go
Noah's
ahead.
sandbagging.
Hey,
Go
you
ahead.
said there's nothing wrong with that, dude.
Yeah,
You
I
still
know.
learn. Get
I
ready.
was going to say I really like Hoffman because of the location there. I mean, think about how you don't even need to worry about ordering pizza for everybody or having all these snacks or anything. People can just go ahead and do their own thing. I mean, there's all that food and everything there.
It's godlike, man.
Yeah, it's great. And it's free, too. So you don't even have to charge a venue fee or anything.
Yo, save it.
Yeah, that's coming later. All right. Do you think if someone wanted to start a new venue to try and just like be the best venue, do you think that's possible with these 4 established venues we have in Nebraska?
Put our money together and go get our own.
What venue do you guys use in Columbus? Do you even have a venue?
Jacob's dad runs a screen printing for T-shirts, and he just lets us use his main floor. We just have TVs set up all over the place. So before that, we were at Easy Gamer. There just wasn't enough space, which technically he just went to a new building and pretty much tripled his space, so we can go there too. But yeah, we're currently at Jacob's dad's work currently.
Is it spacious? How many people can you fit?
Oh man. Well, if we were able to use the upstairs, but due to fire hazards and all that crap, I mean, 90 people easily upstairs. We just can't.
Dang.
We just can't use it.
So
In the main floor, I'd say about 50 would be fine.
the upstairs is just a big empty space that no one can use because stairs are impossible to navigate, I guess. I mean, that must
Well, electrical also. There's only 2 power outlets in the whole upstairs.
Oh, 2? You can't run a tournament on 2 power outlets, man?
be. So it is a big empty room, I guess. What are you
That
going to
is
do with it?
wasted space.
Yeah. He's in chat right now. He just said 3,200 square feet is how big it is.
Nice.
You need to get some rewiring.
Well, no, you know the buildings that are downtown, right? It's just
Yeah.
the upstairs. It's just empty in those old buildings.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
All right. So a big aspect with Nebraska venues, venue fees, the lack thereof, or just including them. So if you run a venue fee, that's obviously going to come out of the Smashers' pockets. You can put it towards whatever you want as a TO, food, profit if you're a scumbag. What do you guys think about venue fees? What place do they have in the Smash world? How should they be used?
I think they're acceptable, but I do my venue fees a different way. You know.
How do you do your venue fees?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, no, like for example, the last one. You know, we just bought a bunch of pizza for everyone, and I mean, we had a really good turnout. But I think I'm going to start planning on just buying pizza for every Saturday. I mean, that's just one thing I like to do, and I'm not going to charge them like UG would, but
Ooh, shots.
that's how I roll.
To me, it's all about how the tournament's being ran and what you're getting out of the venue. If you are getting enough benefit from the venue that it warrants that venue fee, then it can be acceptable and it can be pulled off fine. But if it's questionable what that venue fee is really going to, I don't know. It can be done without. Like we're going to do Grime Time. We've never charged for Grime Time. Well, that's not true. We had to for Grime Time 2 because Tom made us for UG. I don't know why I forgot about that. But for Grime Time 3, we're not going to charge a venue fee. We're going to the Kauffman Center where we can just do everything our own way, and we don't have to worry about it. We're not going to provide any food for everybody and everything like that. You're just going to go get your own. But if people are going to say, hey, I'm going to charge $5 for a venue fee, but you're going to get this pizza, you're going to get these drinks, you're going to get whatever. I mean, you can seal the deal as long as you're providing benefit for it. Otherwise, I mean, $5 is a whole other entry fee for a tournament, or depending on the tournament, of course. But for Grime Time, for example, we do $5 for every game. So that's a whole other entry fee. If you're not really giving people anything out of that, then don't do the entry fee. It's not fair to the players.
What do you think about the people that directly profit off of venue fees? I don't know if anyone in Nebraska does that, but some people will charge a static pot bonus or a static pot prize for first, second, or whatever, and then any surplus and entry fee even. They just scoop it up and that's their profit. What do you guys think about that?
I can see arguments for both sides. I think it really depends, kind of on their place in the community, what they're gonna do with it. Like, so for instance, someone who doesn't really care about Smash that much and just maybe host tournaments at their place, they just want to take that extra for themselves. I mean, fine, you let us use your space, whatever. I mean, nothing's free. But what about if we had a place that took all of that money and then invested it back into either their place to make it better for people to play there or whatever, or like I think Scott mentioned this, food, so that people can actually have something to eat. But that's the great thing about UNL is that it's right next to downtown. It's right next to, depending on the day, the Union. So food is just a couple blocks away maximum. So you can get away without charging a venue fee there, but I would appreciate it if a place charges a fee, then they use it for the betterment of the people that they're having it for.
Do you guys think that the staff of the tournament should get compensated? Do you think venue fees should go to those? No. No in all cases? What if it's a large-scale tournament, like 200-plus people? What if it's Apex, right?
I don't think they get paid, dude. They're all volunteers.
They volunteered to do that job.
What if nobody volunteered? What if you had to have a staff, and then you had to charge a venue fee to pay them?
Call the Velvet Room, man. You guys can take care of it.
Yo, this guy knows what's up.
All right.
I already told you guys when I was commentating that one day that you guys need to get your own TOs. Like we didn't even have brackets at UMSK. Like, come on.
They had brackets, man. You can't
they had brackets.
We were in a bracket.
In his defense, he said he wanted to free up bandwidth for the stream so they wouldn't have internet problems. That's why they didn't use Challenge.
Print it off.
That's neither. All right. Back on venue fees. So, what do you think is the optimal venue fee price? Do you think should it be entry fee? So like $5?
$5.
What if the tournament entry fee is like $20 for like Apex? What should venue fee be? Like 20 also? Should it still be 5? That seems a little. You can farm people at big tournaments. Is all I'm saying. There's a lot of money in Smash.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking from a businessman, man.
Well, like I said earlier, I think it depends on the venue, and it depends what you're getting out of it. You're talking about some big tournaments where you're going to be there for 2 or 3 days. That's huge. When FC used to get ran in Indiana, they used to do just 3 nights, and you could sleep there. Like, if you actually just wanted to be there for 3 straight days, you could. So, I mean, hell, you're getting your money's worth. I mean, you're going to go ahead and pay a venue fee, but you don't even have to go get a hotel room or anything. You can just sleep there, and just play games for 3 straight days. So, obviously, that's worth it. People in the chat are sitting here talking about, if charging a venue fee makes sense just to use their space. And, yeah, I think that makes sense. Obviously, like, say we want to hold a pretty good tournament size and we can't get the UNO place, maybe we want to go to a hotel somewhere. You got to use, like, a Holiday Inn or whatever you got to do. Obviously, you're going to have to pay for that room. So it makes sense if you're doing a venue fee to do something like that. But I would not agree with somebody charging a venue fee because the TO thinks he's working really hard and he needs to put some money in his pocket. I know that's not exactly what you just asked there, but I thought I'd mention that since I saw that.
Also, in chat, Toasterbot says, I still think it'd be interesting to roll it into the entry fee rather than making it a separate fee. I do feel like it's unfair to compare universities to other venues. When you have to pay a couple grand a month in rent, it kind of sucks to have a bunch of people wanting to use it but being like, nah, man, not worth anything.
That'd be interesting to test out.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of hides it a little bit, though. I mean, I felt like what we were talking about was that the person like profiting a ton directly off of it versus like covering the costs of running the tournament.
With that, we're gonna move on to at these venues, it gets hot, it gets sweaty, people start to stink. People may not comb themselves, may not groom themselves as well as other people. Is that a problem at tournaments? We're gonna talk about hygiene now. What do you guys think? How should we enforce hygiene standards at tournaments?
It's kind of impossible. If we're sitting there for 14 hours playing Smash, I mean, I live 2 hours away. Where the hell am I going to go shower? Sorry. You got any deodorant? I'll put it on, but... I don't really have a really good response, but I mean, I don't know. You can't really argue with that. People smell. In a small
Yeah.
place like UG, man, you're gonna smell.
I mean, you're really just talking about a personal issue. I mean, if you're the kind of person that doesn't want to bathe more than once a week, yeah, you know, whatever. Maybe we'll just ask you that the one day of the week that you do bathe, please make it the day before the tournament or the day of. You know, do it that morning. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. There's no real way to enforce that. Like, what are you going to do? Say, hey, I need to smell everybody when you're coming in the door,
Yeah.
and you know, I'm going to turn you away, or like I'm going to charge you an extra $5 if you're going to stink. No, I mean, there's no.
just
When was the last time you showered?
he just linked a link to a Smashboards post or Reddit post saying Big House 4 had a stank bouncer that will kick you out if your hygiene is too poor. What do you guys think about that? Like, it's a large tournament. You can't have people just like waltz in smelling like a zoo. What do you think?
I mean, I haven't seen it before, but I'll take a look at it right now. It sounds really interesting.
So, but yeah, basically it's like everyone that shows up, you know, right before the TO, they have to go through the stank bouncer, and if they have like offensive odors or things of that nature, then they turn them away, man. Like, it's kind of like you're infringing on the liberty of the other smashers by not having good hygiene, and that's just like inconsiderate.
They shouldn't care though, because the better ones are just going to take their money anyways, and they're just going to go home.
Noah, any
I
thoughts?
mean,
Or
I
Echo?
guess. Go ahead, Noah. You haven't
I
said
don't
anything.
have any thoughts. I mean, it's just impossible to enforce unless you have a literal stank bouncer there that.
They did it at Big House 4. It's not
Okay,
impossible.
but so personally, I haven't had a problem with this happening to me personally, where the dude plops down next to me, you know, and he has like under boob stains and like pit stains, and you know he reeks of crap. You know, that hasn't happened to me. Vaping, I mean, that's something else. But the person smelling bad next to me has not been an issue yet, and I don't really know how I would handle it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's understandable if like you're playing like at the end of the day, it's just like you start pitting. Like, it happens to everyone, right? Like, it gets warm. But like, this is more so people that like come into the tournament already smelling like dog dung. Like, these dudes are ripe. Like, you think that's fine? You think that's okay?
No, I mean it's not okay, but I mean that's because I'm a clean person, you know. Like I mean, I don't know. If you don't like to be clean, that's your thing, you know. I see like you know in the chat people are talking about the idea of better players getting you know less harsh treatment from somebody like a stank bouncer, I guess. And I mean that's a good point. Like what are you gonna do? Like say I'm you know, Mewtwo King, and I walk in and I just like smell like trash, you know? It's like, are you gonna do anything to me, or are you gonna be like, it's Mewtwo King, you know? And he might not be the best example. I mean, dude slept the whole tournament. He might have smelled. You know? I didn't take a whiff, but you see what I'm saying? I mean, is it gonna be enforced all around? Like, would you DQ somebody like that, or would you take that dude out of the tournament, or would you just let some people get away with it?
I feel like in Nebraska, it's not like a super huge issue, but I've read like forum posts and threads of people just like ranting and raving, like getting like literally angry at TOs for not doing something. Like it's a problem. Like it's a freaking like epidemic, like smelly smashers. So.
And it's not that hard to at least mask it, you know? Like just have some deodorant in your bag, or you know, even if it's like spray, dude, just grab some packs and just like go ahead and do it, you know? I mean, it's not like it's that difficult. We're not asking everybody to just be like, you know, smelling like soap.
Exactly.
That'd be great, though.
Yeah, deodorant's like $2. Like, people drop what, $5 per entry fee usually at tournaments. Like, come on, man. Should TVR start sponsoring people to wear deodorant, man? Like, come on, man. We will buy people deodorant if they smell. Like, come on, dude.
I have no comment.
What about breath, man? Not so much like you know, pits and stuff. What about like if people like halitosis, you know? What are your thoughts on that? Give them some toothpaste, scrub them up.
I don't know. I don't know what you do about these people. that do not have common decency to take care of themselves. And
It
by
doesn't matter. We're taking their money. That's all it should be.
But then I get to my next game, and like I still in my nostrils is a smell of this dude's butt crack or whatever it is. I just am wanting to vomit the whole time, and then my tech skill is off, dude. Like what?
Right,
what do I
right.
do about
They're
that?
messing
Dude, that's
you up.
perfect. I'm gonna smell like crap on Friday for you guys, dude. I'm gonna make sure I stink so I can take that $50 from Noah.
That'll never happen, no matter what happens. I could be a quadriplegic. Play with my tongue, dude.
Play with your face like that one smasher. All right, any closing thoughts on hygiene? It's kind of an interesting topic. No? All right. So, as you guys know, there are 5 Smash games out, 4 officially and 1 mod. Lots of people like to play a ton of Smash, and they want to play all of them. Mewtwo King enters every Smash event. And is that just too much Smash? How do you maintain tech skill or lack of tech skill, or mind game, all that stuff? How do you consist that across games?
Don't play Smash 4.
All right, but what if you want to play Smash 4? Because Smash 4, you can't dispute it, is the most popular Smash game right now. I mean, there's a ton of money in it.
And it doesn't affect just Smash 4. I mean, you could say the same thing about Brawl, too.
Right, right.
And 64, for that matter, to an extent. I mean, I guess in my opinion, that's where button checks really come into play. Yeah, I know it's not very much time, but when we played in Grime Time 2, I didn't ask for a button check, and I got bodied my first round just because I didn't know how to play the game. I was playing so much Smash 4 at that time. And I mean, yeah, when you go from melee to PM, there's small differences to where that button check it suffices because I mean, you're just kind of adjusting the timing a little bit. But when you're talking about going from Smash 4 to melee, or for people that actually play 64 Smash for that matter, those are huge differences in the games. I mean, I think the only thing you could do is just practice enough. I mean, be so good at your game that if you go play melee for an hour or two, you can jump back on your game and be just as good.
I think another thing is that, at least in Nebraska tourneys, and actually a lot of tourneys now that I think about it, have been centralized around 2 games that are functionally the most similar of all of the Smash games, and those would be Melee and PM. So it hasn't been an issue kind of before now to maybe swap between those 2. But with Smash 4 coming out, I mean, Brawl has been, dead forever. So now with Smash 4 coming out, we're starting to see that if you play those other 2 games and you're like, hey, I want to enter Smash 4 too, it just doesn't transfer as easily. So I think it's just like the difference between the technical skill in the games at the moment. Maybe Smash 4 will have a lot of tech someday, and then that'll change. I don't know.
Dude, they have perfect pivoting, right?
It's wave mashing, basically.
Anywho, what do you guys think? So Mewtwo King was playing all the Smash games at Paragon last weekend or so, and he was getting frustrated because he couldn't remember how to play Melee. He almost went as far to say as, I think I'm going to drop Melee. I'm going to stop playing.
I saw that post. I commented and I told him to stop playing Smash 4 because it was garbage. And it's ruining your game.
The money, man. That's where all the money is.
Yeah, for 6 months, and then what's that game? Dude, it's going to be just like Brawl, man.
I mean, for the time being, though, Mewtwo King, he plays for money, right? And he can't efficiently do that across 5, however many games. So if he's going to optimize and try and do the best he can, he's going to play Smash 4. There's no doubt about it, man. At least for the foreseeable future.
He just can't handle Mango or Leffen or H-Box. He just can't handle them anymore. It's a John, dude. That's what it is.
You think it's because he's spreading himself too thin?
Well, he got second in every game, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, he's obviously still doing a good job.
Right. But he's feeling stressed. He's like, oh my god, I can't maintain all these games.
It would be stressful.
Also, what do you guys think about TOs saying, hey guys, we're going to have all the Smash games, but you can't enter all of them? Do you think that's fair to the players?
I would laugh at him, and I'd drive back to Columbus.
So the reason being for that is all those games are going to take time to run. And if you're going to block brackets, it's going to take even more time, right? So their thought is you can run tournaments more efficiently if you only have participants enter a set number of events. Do you think that's fair to players to get them home on time, or do you think they should be allowed to play, like, for example, roll tier? If everyone's allowed to enter everything, are you guys okay with having a 5-day tournament?
No. No, not at all.
I already know the answer to that one.
And to answer your question about telling somebody no because, like, say you've already entered Melee, so I don't want you to enter Smash 4, I disagree with that completely. I think the bigger concern would be more something like, can you fit all these games in one day? So maybe as a TO, I should say, okay, I know I can't do all of these games in one. I need to pick and choose. Do I want to do just Melee and Smash 4? Are those the ideal games that people want to play? Or do I want to do Melee and PM, and then maybe in the next week we have another tournament, and that's got just Smash 4, you know? I mean, I think we're getting to the point with so many Smash games that people need to realize just because it has the name Smash in it doesn't mean that it needs to be at a Smash tournament. I mean, especially for Brawl and 64. Those games are one-offs. They can have their own tournament or whatever. They shouldn't be part of everything else because what are you going to get, like 5 people playing it? I mean, come on. I mean, you're just killing time. Well, I mean, there might be. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but
I mean, if people are going to come out of state, right? Like, you can't just not have it and not support them. Oh, we're not going to do 64 Brawl.
Well, you can't just yank the rug out from under of them.
Well, RT4 did that.
Yeah, but dude, if I say I'm
that is
having a
true.
Street Fighter tournament, that doesn't mean I'm hosting every Street Fighter game that's ever been made. That means, like, if I just want to do Ultra and like, you know what I mean?
There are more versions of Street Fighter 2 than there are Smash games combined.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go ahead and just say, okay, just because it's a Smash game, it needs to be at this tournament. You can have a Melee tournament, you can have a Smash 4 tournament, you can have a mix of Smash of 3 games, you know, just pick and choose. I mean, you don't have to do every game, is what I'm saying, unless you want to try doing a 2-day event. But if you're going to do a 2-day event or multi-day, because you can go more than 2 days, you're not going to see as many out-of-state players unless you've got a huge cash prize.
You know, and I went to RT4, and when I got there, they just told me that they weren't going to do doubles in Melee, and they weren't going to do doubles in PM.
Are you sure that wasn't 3?
No, it was 4.
It was 4? We'll have someone
And-
verify.
I don't know. That is also well.
Ending thought, final thought.
I was just going to say as a final thought, I mean, the other option that you have, I guess, is not doing double elimination. You can change it up and do a different kind of tournament. You know, maybe you just want to do something in single elim, but a lot of people might not like that. But, I mean, if you want to fit everything in one day, you might have to change the rules up.
All right, so most of you have seen the documentary. Most of you have even, like, experienced this. I know Echo. Back in 2006, all those top dogs, you had your Ken, PC Chris, the Shiz Wiz, you had the Samus dude, Wes, I think his name was, Azin, Chillin, all these just, like, OGs, right? And then they got older, and then they stopped playing Smash. But then the documentary came out, and everyone's like, oh my god, Smash is resurging. So now you have esports teams just picking up these OGs, like KDJ, freaking Ken, you know, PC Chris just got on Twitter. He's like, dude, I'm starting Smash again. What do you guys think about the you know, I'm not going to call them has-beens, but the former, like, gods of Smash trying to enter today's metagame?
Maybe we should have our own legend talk about it.
I think it's
an OG, our most seasoned member here.
I think it's awesome, man. I'd love to play with some of those guys again. And I think, you know, I can tell you from my own experience of playing so much and competing in so many Melee tournaments and then just dropping it completely and not playing at all. I mean, real life is great, dude, but I mean, you miss it. You want to come back to it, especially if you were playing at a really high level. You want to compete again. And so I can totally understand, especially for people like PC and Ken that were winning national tournaments. You would definitely feel it. I mean, I was just winning local tournaments and winning, like, in, you know, our surrounding states. I mean, if I was that level of player, I would definitely be on it. The documentary is great, and I think the documentary helped get a lot of people back into it. But to be honest with you, I don't know if that really affected the older players as much. Already part of that, and if they were really, really good at that time, they were probably part of the documentary. But I think it was more of just the fact that, like, for my own example, I kind of was holding off to see what Smash 4 was going to be. And I got kind of hyped up for it, but my expectations were low because everybody knows what happened with Brawl. But you know, after I found out what Smash 4 was, it's not exactly my kind of game. It really makes me get that Melee vibe again. Like, I really want to play Melee again because that is the game I love competing in. I've met so many people over the years playing that game. And, dude, it's all about having a good time.
So, Liquid KDJ and Liquid Ken, So they used to be like top like placing at all the tournaments, right? What was their highest placing ever since they came back in the scene? It was like, was it even top 32, top 64? Like, I feel like the metagame has evolved so much that they can't compete anymore, man. Like, I'm not
People are too
saying they
fast.
should just quit. Like, they're not washed up, but they, I feel like they can't adapt to the level it is now. Like, Mango, Armada, all those guys are just dominating. Do you think they can ever catch up? Do you think it's too late? Do you think they should go back to do what they're doing what they're doing and just play Smash as like a leisurely game?
I think KDJ could catch up because he's crazy. I mean, he could just challenge Mango to a bunch of money matches like he did in the dock, you know. But I don't know.
Mango was
Ken,
wasn't
I don't
even
think
like a
Ken
thing
will.
then, was he?
You know, I watch his Marth now, and no, not even close.
No hope for
Like,
Ken, huh?
No, you know, and Chillin's doing great in PM, but I don't know. This money match that he's gonna be in versus Leffen's gonna wreck this dude. Leffen is gonna just toy with this guy. I mean, I feel bad. He's gonna lose a lot of money probably. So, but no, they're just way too slow. PC Chris and KDJ, I think, would probably be the only two if they worked at it could catch up. But
Shizwiz disagrees with you.
Shizwiz
really?
is a god. I love that dude.
Yeah, I mean, I
God,
disagree. I disagree with what Scott's saying. I mean, I think players like Ken could be just as great as they once were. The only difference is the reads are different. You know, what you're expecting from your opponent's a lot different, and you know, your combos are different. Obviously, everybody has learned how to DI at such a new level, and you know, a good example with Marth for Ken is chain grabs. You can't really chain grab space handles as well as you once were able to because of people knowing how to shine at the perfect frame and all that. So, I mean, the game has changed, but those players, the players that were top at that time were such smart players, man. The game was very technical, but it wasn't like at the technical level that it is now. So those players are extremely smart. And if they could just figure out everything that these new players are doing, how the game is being played, and what kind of shield pressure and all those things that they're going to see, dude, they just need to know the punishes.
I mean, the reason why I said Ken probably wouldn't, because he's already been at the top, and he was at the top for so long. I don't think he has the motivation anymore to even climb the ladder again. That's what I'm saying. But, I mean, he just, in my opinion, just wanted to get sponsored. That's why he came back.
I think there's some validity to that. I mean, like, he was the best, and he was the king of Smash. You know, he had nothing left to prove. So, I mean, if he comes back and, yeah, maybe he's not as good in this new meta with all of this other stuff. I mean, he got where he was because he was a smart player, like Echo said. And so, yeah, I mean, I could see that he was already at the top, so why bother? Just keep playing for enjoyment. I feel like that's why he came back, because, he just loves the game.
Echo, since you're like an older player, would you be embarrassed if you just got straight bodied by someone younger than you in Smash?
Not necessarily. I mean, if they're playing really well, I mean, I'll admit it sucks to, not be able to perform as I used to be able to. Like when I played at Voltier and I lost to Arfriz and I didn't know who Arfriz was.
That dude's like 16.
I mean, he's a good player, and I mean, he probably doesn't even know that I used to play Smash. He's probably just like, who the hell is this random, I mean, but it's kind of like what Noah said to the bigger players. I mean, obviously it's a lesser extent to me, but I feel like I have nothing to prove. Everybody that played at that time, JBM, Magic, Devin, all these guys, I mean, I've got nothing to prove. I mean, I enjoyed my time on the top. I have a lot of pride in what I did, and, I'll always have that. Even if I go and get bodied, if I can help other people get better and everything with my knowledge, that's enough for me. I mean, I'll always have what I had, I don't think I worded that well, but you know what I mean.
All right, final topic. Probably going to be the most fun topic. Smash versus the current fighting game community. So, Street Fighter pretty much started the fighting game community. I might not be entirely accurate, but that game has been around since like the 70s. Smash is only like 90s or so. The fighting game community is so much more massive than Smash at this moment. So much more like established, so much more refined, and there's so many more games, and it's just an entirely different metagame. How do you guys think the two compare?
So, I think one of the big things the fighting game community has going for it is Okay, well let me say this first. So for Smash, all of the games are in like a sequence, right? They're all part of the Smash series.
Right.
So especially like when Brawl came out, there was like such a huge divide in the community that there wasn't a lot of people working together, and that's why you had like revival of Melee because everyone thought Brawl was gonna kill Melee and Melee was gonna be done, and it was, that was the dark ages for a while. But the thing about the fighting game community is there's so many different games that fall into the spectrum of being called a fighting game that even if within one of those series there is kind of a division of, oh, this game's better, or I think this game's more competitive, or whatever, they just have a bigger base of people to pull from to make like fighting game events more successful.
That's true. So for to give perspective, so VGBC Gimmer, he has like 100,000 followers or something, right? 70,000, I don't know. Spooky has like orders of magnitude more than him. That's how much bigger the FGC is than Smash. The FGC, like, fighting games are faster. It takes like 10 hours to finish a Smash tournament versus a fighting game tournament. Like, those rounds, the sets are done in 3 minutes. You finish a game in Smash in 3 minutes. And that just, like, turns people off. Like, Smash is slow. They have the community, some people have like this entitled attitude, like, oh, we're Smash, we're different. You need to respect us. We're the new kid. You're ancient. You guys want to discuss on that?
No, it sounded like total bullcrap to me, but if someone else has a thought.
I mean, I agree. Smash is a very unique game. Well, it's a very unique series, and it's not ever going to be as large as the fighting game community because, like you mentioned, you've got so many other games out there. You've got the speed of how long it takes. Evo's going to run, what was it, 9 tournaments, and all on different platforms and everything, and I'm sure they'll do it great. So, in my opinion, I like when Smash gets compared to other fighting games because when it does, a lot of the time it's because of the respect for the game. I mean, a lot of people that have tried to play Smash now understand how technical the game is and how hard it is to play. But will it ever completely fit in with the other fighting games? I don't think so. Melee will be the closest, always. But the other Smash games, no. I don't think it's
So another point, a lot of people think, well, in the fighting game community, this is sort of hearsay, they think Smash players are a bunch of children because there's a whole bunch of drama just for no reason all the time. I'm not saying that the FGC does not have drama, but Smash has a lot of drama. Would you agree, disagree?
Do you have a specific instance of this?
I mean, literally, just look in the like, I don't know, a week ago, like Alex Strife situation, like.
That could have happened to anyone.
I guess that's fair.
Or could have been anyone.
I have no comment.
HBox rage quitting Smash 4.
It's Smash 4, man. What do you expect? Sorry, people in chat. I don't like Smash 4. I'm never going to play it again.
Oh, really? I didn't get that impression from you.
Never.
Why are we even... Like, every time I hear Smash 4, I just want to blow up, dude. Like, Nintendo, what are you thinking?
Fair.
Well, they don't want to make a fighting game. That's the thing, is they did not make Smash 4 to be like Street Fighter.
Well, they effed up when they made Melee.
Well, that is on topic. I mean, I'm comparing it to fighting games. I mean, when you have a game like Street
that's
Fighter,
true.
Ultra, like you're talking about Ultra, they make that game specifically to be a competitive fighter. I mean, they want that at Evo, you know. So, I mean, you're talking about totally different games, you know.
Yeah, like Capcom is dropping just like a butt ton of money into tournaments just for competitive players. Nintendo just now starting to sponsor the competitive scene, like Apex and Evo and stuff. Like, Smash is... The FGC is just so much bigger. Like, tell me why I shouldn't just like stop streaming Smash and just do FGC games.
Well, like 10 people will show up to your things then, or what?
I mean, like, the FGC is just so much more profitable. Like, there's so much more people. Like, Utilize tournaments, Ultra, just a butt ton. Like, twice as many entrants. Okay, maybe not for Smash 4 because it just came out. But, like, Ultra just consistently at UMSK, just, like, 3 times as many people as Melee. It's just tiny. Nothing? You guys not salty? That doesn't make you mad?
Well,
It doesn't make me. I love watching the games. I'm never gonna play them though.
It makes
I
me.
don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't know that quarter circle crap or whatever. I'll just play with this sandbox fighting game, which Melee is, and I'll enjoy just watching it. I don't know.
One thing
I
that
agree.
I noticed about the fighting game community is that people continually play, or like people continue to play, I guess is what I should say. And what I mean by that is that you've got so many players that used to be Melee players. After they were no longer sitting on the top, someone like me comes up and beats them. They're done playing. They quit. And then Brawl comes out, a lot of players quit. And then they just be like, this game sucks. They're done. And then you got PM. People are like, PM's no good. You got people like Old Man Noah there. They're like, no, PM's garbage. Play Melee. The thing is everybody like plays when they're winning, and then when they can't win anymore, they're like, this game sucks, I'm done, Whereas what I see for the most part, I'm sure that happens in the fighting game communities, but for the most part, I see people that continually play, if not just come and hang out with everybody, Everybody's playing Ultra because they've been Street Fighter players for 15 years.
I mean, with all the new people coming into the scene, though, just real quick, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Now you maybe I forgot what I was gonna say now, Cam. No, okay, yeah. Give it like 10 years, honestly, and Melee's still gonna be there. Melee's still gonna be in tournaments. All the other Smash games will die probably, but Melee will always. Everyone, are you listening to me in chat? Melee will always be here. Deal with it.
All right, and just so no one's confused, I'm a huge advocate of both. I love the FGC and Smash. Started as a Smash player.
Same. I have to.
Yeah, so, both can coexist. We're just, discussing. All right, so that was our last topic. Any of you guys have any closing thoughts before we wrap this up and get out of here?
I don't know. Can we take a question from the chat? Maybe just one?
Yeah, we have 30-second chat delay or so. If anyone has a question, we can answer real quick before we go. Just literally the first one that's typed.
Yeah, let's just take like the first one.
And then we'll just wrap it up.
If I have any other notes while we're waiting for that, I would say, Scott, man, you're a very angry person.
This dude hates Smash 4.
I love you, dude, but you hate Smash 4 so bad.
Dude, I mean,
Jesus,
I never play the game, ever, and it's like my best placing game that when I go to these tournaments, I hate it. I don't know, I just hate it. I can't help it. I'm angry. Noah has convinced me that Melee is the only game and will always be the only game.
So this is Noah's fault now, huh?
Yo, I don't know how I got brought into this.
Dude,
It's Noah to
me
convince
and Noah have had hours of conversations about this. Like, I talked to him about, hey,
That'll be our
getting into
question.
PM
Smash 4.
hardcore, blah, 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 and no, stop, play Melee.
All right, I'm gonna defend Smash 4 for the sake of the viewers. So, some would argue Smash 4 is a more intellectual and like higher skilled game because you don't have to mindlessly spam tech like L cancels and I just gotta throw these down airs and
you want
mash.
Smash 4 to get destroyed, then just save it for another time, okay? We do not have time to go over the millions of ways that you are incorrect, okay? So just shut your mouth.
Dude, you have to think in Smash 4. You have to space your moves like you.
Someone turn this down. Someone shut him off.
This dude doesn't understand. Melee, you can cancel your lag so there's nothing, so you're just mindlessly inputting inputs. Like, I mean, that's cool to watch, but from a player's perspective, some people don't even know what they're doing. They're just like, I got to L cancel because I got to L cancel. Whereas in Smash 4, it's like, okay, I'm going to throw this move because it has this many number of frames. And if I mess up, I'm this many frames behind.
Okay, guys, we got a question. Hey, we got a question.
We got a question.
Thank you.
Mighty Boss 1 asks, what do you guys think of the Leffen versus Chillin money match?
We already talked about this.
Well, you talked about it. I mean, give
Mentioned
your thoughts on it. Like, I don't know how much is getting put down.
Okay,
I
so
think
this
there
is my
was-
match. It's like I think it's $100 and then the neutral fox color. So both of those players play neutral fox. Whoever loses is banished from the world of Smash, playing neutral fox in Melee.
That's pretty
Chillin
epic.
is.
Dude.
I hope he
that's
likes
epic.
blue.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's epic, but Chillin's kind of. I don't know. Leffen's really good, dude.
Leffen is going to wreck him.
He's really good.
So
But, I mean, I guess I respect that though. I mean, Chillin's trying to put his foot down, and say, hey man, I'm a good fox. What's up? Don't forget about me.
It's going to cost him dearly, but
But $100?
He has
Well,
Chillin
At
needs to stick with PM.
He is good at PA.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, at Paragon, Leffen got interviewed by D1, and he was like talking to him. He's like, "What do you think about that money match, man? Are you excited?" And he's like, "Chillin is so bad. The only thing he can think about coming up at Apex is that money match because he's not gonna win. He can't win an Apex." And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna win easily." So.
Right, he's focusing on beating Leffen because he can't get super far at Apex. He's just focusing on me. I mean, I'm focusing on Apex, and even if I lose, I still have the skill level to win Apex. But Chillin, he's just focusing on me. Come on, man. You should try and do better things than just beat me in a money match.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm getting a sign from our producer. We got to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone who watched. Thank you, the normal Velvet Room staff, for doing this every week. Thank you, Fsink, FSINK, for showing up to this. We appreciate you. We hope this was fun for you. Next week, guys, we have Nooch from South Dakota. He's starting up the South Dakota scene. He called Nebraska the Big Brother scene to South Dakota. So we're going to get him in here. We're going to talk to him about some South Dakota stuff. Get some salty stuff too. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah, next week, same time, 8 p.m. CST. Hope to see you guys there. Pardon the smash.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks.
see you guys.